Hello, welcome. Welcome to my fourth episode of my podcast. I'm honored to have you on here and like to start off by having you introduce yourself and what got you into airsoft.
Hey, it's an honor to be here. My name is Hayden Anderson, and by Airsoft, I go by Blue. I'm also the LMG gunner of the Legion of Rain. And how I got into Airsoft, it was actually my buddy Venom, who used to be part of the original group of Legion of Rain. He got me into it by taking me from school to go visit one of the airsoft fields just to mess around. And then I met Spaz during that too, which me and him got along very well. And then I asked him if I could join his group, and that's how it really started.
Oh, excellent. Very cool. How long you been in the sport for?
So I started my second year in Colorado, so I think 2021, 2022, or something like that.
Okay, so a few years, about two or three.
Down in
Uh,
there. Yeah.
yeah, awesome. And you mentioned you met Spaz. I mean, I'll be quite curious how you met Spaz. I'm just curious if it's similar to Fritz or myself.
Um, how I met him is actually he didn't see me. My buddy Venom brought me to Spaz. He got Spaz to come out, and then my buddy Aiden Venom introduced me to Spaz, and then we started playing out like that, and then it started to continue to grow. We started hanging out a lot more, and then finally I asked him if I could join his team because I really liked doing airsoft with them, and that's how me and him pretty much met.
Nice, nice. Very cool. Uh, I met Spaz in a line at Fox Airsoft,
Mhm.
and if you watch my previous episodes, I got into the detailed story of how
Yeah,
all that happened, right? So
yeah,
it's kind of interesting. Um, he certainly is a motivator for sure.
yeah,
So it's
definitely.
Yeah, so he I even mentioned this on my episode with him is that in a way he's kind of responsible why my channel even exists. And so
Yeah,
he had a good laugh out of that. So
yeah,
I mean it's partly true and it's kind of cool, to hear those types of things happen and especially with the airsoft community because when I first well not I wouldn't say first. I mean, I've been in it since I got into it like in 2003, quite a long time ago. But I've been on a break for 17, 18 years. I just recently got back into it this year
yeah.
in
I wasn't even
2024.
born then.
I'm sorry?
I wasn't even born then. I was born
Uh
2005.
yeah. I'm an older fellow. That's for sure. And I even joked with who did I joke with this with? It was I think I don't think it was Spaz I said this to. It might have been. Oh, it was Jagged. Yeah, I said this to
Mm.
Jagged that hey, hopefully no one takes offense. And I'm like, I think I'm double the age of everyone here. He says, "Don't worry, man. We got Fritz. He's in the same category, so you're all good." So,
Yeah,
but it's a. I mean, to be fair, not everyone is in that age group. I mean, we do have a few veterans and people within my age group as well.
yeah, like it
It's
doesn't matter what age you are, as long as you're there enjoying yourself, I could care less.
oh
As
yeah,
long as you're
yeah.
enjoying yourself, I'm fine with that.
Oh yeah, but it's just fascinating. I mean, looking at my perspective, when I first got into it in 2003 versus when I got back into it in 2024, you can imagine the shock I was in when I saw the difference in technology, the difference of accuracy, and even like speed softers, right? I mean, to
We
be
are,
fair, I do remember the term, but I mean, back then in 2003 through 2005, I don't even remember that as being as a thing, at least not like in my area, my region area. So that was also kind of fascinating to observe. And
yeah,
then
I can definitely tell the difference because I have an old airsoft gun it's from I think 2006, and it's heavy. I could say
yeah,
that. It's like a full metal one, and then the mag is absolutely garbage. Like one drop and it's like already broken. But it definitely the guns have improved over time.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. At least the ones I touched back when I first got into it in 2003, I don't even remember any of it being metal. I remember all of it being plastic, right? And of course within my area, a lot of stuff that I got my hands onto was either by secondhand or you had to order it because
Mhm.
there wasn't a real, how should I say, it wasn't as common to get if that makes sense, right? It's a little bit more difficult. You couldn't just go to Walmart to get it. And
Yeah,
so but these days, I mean, especially when I got back into it, I was shocked to hear that there was an actual dedicated store here locally in Parker. I was like,
yeah,
you got to be kidding me. And so when I saw that, I was quite amazed. And ironically, when I was there, I actually met the owner. The owner was there talking to his staff, and got to had a conversation with him. And ironically, I found out when we got into a conversation, I told him, yeah, I got into airsoft very briefly when I was over at Wichita, or it would be Derby, but it was near Wichita, Kansas. And he told me that he was into it near Wichita, Kansas. I think he said 2007. I think that's what he said to that, or did he say 2008? Somewhere around there. So we were in the same area when me and him
well,
were
that's
playing.
cool.
Yeah. So I
Yeah, the
was like,
chances
holy
of
cow,
that.
that's kind of that's interesting.
Hmm.
So, but I got on I if I remember the timing, I think I got out of it right when he was really getting into it. I think that was the timing of it. And of course, I got into my career and got into other things. And then
Yeah.
I didn't get into it until just recently. So in your particular case, you've been into it for a few years. You met Spaz through third party, which is great. Hopefully, hopefully he didn't scare you on the first run because he's because I can understand why he's named Spaz. I mean, that really fits his
Yeah.
personality. I mean, seriously, it fits his personality, but not in a bad way. I mean, it's like it's really cool to see him play,
Yeah,
right?
I think his personality fits him, and it's that's what seems so much fun to hang out with him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's totally down to earth, and he's definitely, at least with my exposure with him, he's definitely a people's person. He likes to coordinate. So it's really cool to see for sure. So
Yeah,
I mean, when you got into airsoft, I mean, out of curiosity, what was your first airsoft gun?
my first airsoft gun, my dad bought me was a CM16. It was the long barrel version of the CM16 because the short barrel, oh, that thing just looked garbage. But over time, I actually upgraded it into an HPA engine and got it to shoot really, really well. I love that thing until it broke and had to get a new gun.
So it didn't last very long, it sounds like.
It lasted, I think, about 9 to 12 months. But that's because after upgrading it and all that stuff, like I think for the first like 6 months, that was the only gun I have. But I absolutely love that thing. It's not great for long range, but most of the time I was just engaging close range, so I didn't need like that much like range to shoot them. I just love that thing. It's super light. You could go around corners and everything really, really quick.
Nice, nice. What was the jewels out of that thing?
Um, Knowing that it was a G&G, it was on the low end. It was I didn't really look into that much, but all I know is that I think it was less than I think it was around 1 joule, maybe a little less. But as soon as I put three twos in it, its ability to keep it more straight was much better.
Yeah. Nice, nice. And I'm sure just like everyone else, including myself, I'm sure your collection grew once you got really into the hobby.
It kind of grew, but for me, as soon as I got so for me, my how my collection grew is after a few months. I think it's like 5 or 6 months. My one of my dad's airsoft and work buddies was getting rid of one of his HPA builds, and I forgot which. It's a Lancer Tactical, but it had the hose that go into the stock, like the where the stock is and that little thing that for the stock goes on. It that's where the hose goes. So it's an odd thing, but we took that apart and rebuilt it, and it was a beautiful gun. And then I traded it for an AS valve, but the AS valve turns out it was broken, so that was on my part bad. And then as soon as I got my Trident my Crytek Trident LMG, that's pretty much the gun I've been stuck on the whole entire time. So it's gonna, and then I got like a scar through some little trade. Like I'll trade guns, but I pretty much will just be sticking to a small group.
All right. Very cool. Do you have any like sidearms, pistols, grenades, anything like that if you
Sidearms
got
for
into that?
I did get into it a little bit. Like for example, I got my favorite gun or favorite pistol, I should say, is the M93R. It's the M9, but except it has round burst, and then it has that little handle underneath. And I got that, but the thing is though, there's so many bad reviews, and I accidentally chose the Tokyo Marui one that has the little battery, so it was really bad. So I didn't really get into too much pistols, but I just got a the Novrich SSP-18 just for because in any Milsim events I do, I have to have a sidearm for LMGs. So it's just like a thing just to get me into places. I really don't use it much, so I'm not really big into pistols. I've owned three pistols. I had the Novrich SSP-18. I forgot the second pistol, and then I had the Tokyo Marui M93R.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not really into pistols myself. I have them, but kind of similar situation where you're talking about. You only use them to get into requirements for certain role plays, right? Playing
Yeah,
roles. The type of pistols I have is just from Novritz. It's SSE 18 and SSB 5. Um, but I mean, they're okay. It's of course, why am I saying they're okay compared to what I started with back in 2003? They're like phenomenal, but in
yeah,
today's standards, and with today's technology, they're okay. And so it's it just depends on what's your flavor, right? So with the SSE 18, that's electric, obviously, and with the SSP 5, that's gas. So it's just whatever you feel comfortable with. And so
yeah,
it's either or to me is okay. Um, it's just because I'm mostly play at Fox. I mostly play the map prison most of the time,
yeah. The
and
prison is amazing map.
yeah, it's pretty good. It's a little bit of a mixture of everything, almost everything.
Yeah,
A
for
little bit of a
me,
long. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say is for me on prison, I since I'm the LMG player, I always go in the towers and that hold that entire corner down.
Nice, nice. Yeah, because you have that. It has the flexibility of long distance, medium distance, and close distance, right?
Mhm.
So it has a little bit of everything. The only downfall of prison, which I hope in the future they can somehow resolve, is that I'd like to get into a ghillie suit. I like to camouflage into the woods, but obviously you can't do that with prison because it's
There's like no brush piles or
there's
anything
no brush. No,
you can put yourself into.
yeah,
Yeah,
precisely. So that's like a future gameplay I like to do, but that's the only recommendation if they can pull it off. That's the only recommendation I would have is either if not with prison, maybe have another map that specializes that. Because I heard years ago where Fox had what was called the large map, where it was actually
yeah, it
into
was
the woods.
oh, I actually have me because when we're the old team, we made a actual spreadsheet of and the grid coordinates of all the locations and stuff like we designate these things as this and this. I forgot what it was called, but it was like it was the big map was actually pretty big. It was probably it was like the back of the CQB all the way almost towards the trees, the back end of the trees, and then it went almost to the ditch. It was like a giant area. It was pretty big.
Yeah, I just wish I got back into the sport when that map was available.
Yeah,
So
it was kind of dumb that the public took that land back because it would a lot of people enjoyed that field.
yeah, it was Parker mainly, right? Parker
Yeah,
City.
yeah, the city took it back.
Yeah. Do you recall like the reasoning and logic behind it?
I heard that they're going to be putting in like new buildings in that area. They're building a road that goes through and like building new buildings somewhere. That's all I've heard so far. I have no more pretty much new updates yet.
Okay, hopefully it doesn't restrict Fox further,
Yeah,
because if they decide to build like
homes
homes or stuff like that, that's gonna I'm sure that's gonna
raise some
um
concern.
yeah, yeah, potentially. So either they make adjustments at Fox or their current field, or expand to another field. I mean, that's an option.
True, yeah.
So that would be cool to see. And we'll just have to wait and see which direction they go. Because I think, like, I could be wrong, but I think there's only three airsoft, or maybe four, um, 3 to 4 airsoft fields in the surrounding region in Colorado where we're at. I think there's Go Airheads, Fox, there's Dynamic,
And then
and
there's
then the one down in Colorado Springs.
I've been to it. It's like the paintball coliseum or something like that.
It might be. It's like an indoor airsoft.
There's the outdoor one. There's the outdoor field one where it has the paintball if you're walking towards it on the right side, and then it has like an open like field that's like for airsoft and paintball people on the left. Yeah, we went there for mainly for a training day, but it's like there's no refs there, so it's like
Kind of free
that's where
for
like all
all.
the cheers pretty much go.
I'll let you pretty much go.
Yeah, the calling
Well,
hits thing is not really good there.
well, that's one thing I have to admit that hasn't changed since 2003. That hasn't changed at all. I was very familiar with that, but to be fair, I mean, not to shame anyone, but at least at Fox, it seems like most of them, not all, but most, it
It's like
seemed to it's
90% of the group calls their hits. It's just
yeah.
like there's like one or two people that day just don't call their hits.
And the
But
ones that don't, I notice because I record every combat session,
yeah,
right? And when I review my footage and reanalyze it, it really does look like that some of these individuals are not even realizing they're being hit.
yeah,
It's
like there's a scenario there's one of the things that happened is that we call her cat ears and she has a vest right here that's like super big and a lot of times when people are shooting the vest she has an HPA stuff she's like this and she sometimes says like I can't even feel it and I don't even know I'm getting hit because I'm so focused on something else that I don't feel it or hear it.
yeah, yeah, and I could totally see it, especially if you have someone that is fully like
Yeah,
like
like
dressed
has
up
like a
like
metal plate and everything.
yeah,
It can be hard to tell.
has full gear, full dress up. Yeah, I could see that, and I've seen it with other people too. But then again, you still have those individuals that you can clearly know they are hit, and they still move forward. But I mean, it's part of the game. Especially in my age, I just don't care if people are not calling their hits. I mean, if they do, great. If they don't, I mean, it's just a game. I
You
mean,
get
I'm
to
not
shoot
going to
them
fight
all.
over it. Yeah, exactly. Because I had situations where I clearly shot someone first, and then he shot me, and then he said, "Hey, I killed you," and I told him, "Well, I shot you first," and then I was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll call it. It's fine." And that's it's not worth arguing about. So
Yeah,
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 those
most of the time,
situations
as soon
happen.
as I get hit and I know I took them out, I just say good hit and then most of the time walk away. But sometimes they can make you mad, but it feels good when you control yourself knowing that you just avoided a bigger situation.
Oh yeah, yeah, and of course, not saying anything about the youngsters, but it becomes more easier to control your emotions as you get
Hmm.
older, right?
Yep.
Drama is not as the end of the world
Yeah.
anymore. It's not.
Yeah, we're just here to shoot each
So
other for fun with plastic BBs.
yeah, exactly. And I even told that to Spaz one day. I just told him, "Hey, I'm just too old for drama. I mean, if there's an issue, I'll be willing to resolve it. It's not going to kill anybody. It's all right." So, or let me rephrase that: the situation's not going to kill anybody. So, I'll just phrase it that way. But well, anyway, it's as long as everyone's having fun. I mean, that's what matters, and that's what I enjoy about it. Most people are pretty cool with that. So that's what's so awesome about the community, at least with my exposure.
Hmm.
And but in your particular case, I mean, do you how often do you play airsoft? Is it regularly, or is it do you have a job that's kind of hampering you down from doing it every single weekend on the sport?
This one's a little interesting. I used to, when I was down in college, right now I'm actually in Washington State at college. That's like the main reason why I'm not able to play with you guys as much, pretty much, albeit, like like I would love to drive down there or fly down there just to play with you guys every once a month. But it's just too much money. And then when I was actually back in Colorado, I pl tried to play every weekend, like every Saturday, Sunday. And if I could, I'd try to play the night games too when I actually had glow in the dark BBs. But I did try to play every weekend. Um, I try to play as much as I can and to know that so that way I can get a layout of the field at Fox. I mostly played at Fox. I did play at Go Airheads a few times, but one, I don't like the constant same game modes. And then it's just like I'd like something new. You know what I mean? Like just to change it up a little. But I mostly played it at Fox. I like it was I think it was the big. I put when I first started, it was the big field. It was then there's CQB field, and then where the prison field was. That was actually the walking area before they took that and made it the prison. And definitely enjoyed Fox a lot, especially the community there. It's great.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like the community. Absolutely, we're totally on board on that for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, and the staff there is not too bad. I mean, um, I'm not sure if you heard the story, but I
Yeah.
um I had surgery on the foot, and I actually had it fail on me one time. So while I was out in the field, so I had to I had to have Spaz drag me out of the field because I couldn't put weight on the foot. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because on that incident, the staff was very, very attentionist. They were making sure I was okay, asked me if I needed anything. They were making sure that everything was all right.
Yeah.
And that was really, really cool to see. And they're pretty proactive. And even on the next visit, I went back out there, one of their staff members saying, "Hey, how's your foot? Everything going well? Has it been improving?" And just them proactively checking up on me was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, they actually there's a similar situation to that, but it wasn't a pretty outcome. There was a situation at Fox. It was called the Unknown Incident. There's a group of guys. They call themselves the Unknown on YouTube, and they go around trying to get themselves banned from every airsoft field. And this time, they full off they shot a guy, and then the guy puts his hand up, and then he stands there, and the guys like they're speed softers, and they let out I think about 3 mags out nonstop, even though he already called his hit and everything. And then he shoots them back, and then that instigated them to push him around, and then he grabbed their gun, and then all hell broke loose. And then the staff came in there, stopped the fight immediately, and told everyone to get off the field now. So I like how they're when they need to be like rough and tough with the team players, they actually do it. And then when they need to be like calm and assertive, like being careful with them, they're very good at that too.
Oh, so they got into a physical fight.
It pretty much kind of did. Like the video, it shows them like it was really bad. Like one view, the guy shows them pushing the guy away and stuff, trying to get them to stop because they were
Oh,
full
push him in the
autoing him.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, because and then they pushed him in the back, the victim, and then the three airsofters put their guns towards the guy's open neck and just let it rip on his neck full auto. So it was like gruesome. So. It was a good thing that the Fox Airsoft did what they did to get that situation calmed down.
Yeah, yeah, I did hear about them, and I think I saw the same video that you're describing.
Yeah, it was
That's
not cool. I was actually there that day, and I was in the tower watching that unfold. I really, really wish I unloaded into them to get their attention away from that guy. But I'm glad I did it because then I would have been part of the problem too. So
Yeah, and they could have flagged you, or the staff could have flagged you, and you could have been also banned as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was like the
that's
only big incident at Fox so far that I've seen since I've been there for like 2 years that I've seen that actually got bad. Every other time it's just these little few things, but that was the worst situation I've seen so far.
yeah, yeah. And if I recall, I think one of them, at least at the time when I checked, I think one of them had a warrant, if I'm
Oh
not too
yeah,
mistaken.
they did have a warrant out for him.
Yeah, it's all public record. And of course, I'm not encouraging anyone to check up their records, but 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 it wasn't that difficult to identify them. It's I think when I researched about it, I had their full names within an hour, and also their locations and where they lived. Um,
If learn anything from this, just don't do what they do.
yeah, so I mean, unfortunately, you have characters out there that even they live off of that because it seems like that's the main point of their channel is just to simply to record bad instances of that,
Yeah,
right?
because the more views they get and more followers and stuff like that, the more money they get.
Yeah, yeah. So unfortunately, that's how they like to do it. It's just it. I just wish they refocused their time and effort into better things than that. But but hey, as long as Fox is proactive and they keep them banned off the field, then that's terrific because I think they're. I've been hearing stories that they actually came or tried to come back, and
Um,
um, and
I
they
haven't heard that yet, but I'm not surprised if they do.
yeah, and I think it was recent. I think I think it was last month. I could be wrong on the timing, but that's what I recall. And again, I'm an old fellow, so my memory could be a little bit off. But but anywho, it was recent. And they identified them quite quickly, and they immediately kicked them off before they could even enter the field. So that's kind of cool that their response time on that was pretty quick.
Yeah, I was like almost immediately. As soon as someone started yelling out like ref, like Mason was there in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
And when Mason's mad, you really don't want to mess with him.
I can imagine. I mean, it's it's just they just give airsoft a bad name. I'll just say it that way. But
But good thing is though, I haven't seen those many people like those are the first people I've seen like that. Most of the time, it's just like those every once in a while, like just minor things. But most of the time, everyone's having fun there. That's what I like about Fox is like you will 90% encounter or 99% encounter people that are willing to hang out with you, willing to let you borrow their gun, like just hang out with you for fun. And
yeah,
that's one of the greatest things about Fox Airsoft that most other airfields don't have is that like that great community.
yeah, that's true. That's certainly true. And even members within the Legion team is certainly an example of that. I mean, Spaz, Fritz, it's really cool to see people willing to help you out, give you advice, and try to make you feel welcome with the community for sure, for sure. And and it's fascinating too because you never know who you're going to meet. You never know who actually, like for example, in my real job, people don't know that I play airsoft, and when I in my real job, I do pretty serious things, right? So finding out people that are into the engineering department that play airsoft is just kind of makes it a small world, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, that flag behind you that has my interest. So,
Oh
you mind
yeah.
talking about that for a little bit?
Yeah, so this flag was actually given to me for my birthday by Spaz, when the group originally, actually the person who designed this flag, or not, who designed the artwork of the Spartan helmet, and then the snake going through it was Apex, which is also known as Tanis. He's one of our original guys who's like who does multi roles. Like he's a LMG gunner, he's a rifleman, he's an SMG guy. In our group. he doesn't play too much, but he's actually one of the refs at Fox now. And he goes out there, I don't know exactly when, but he helped design the original patches that we got. And then this is a flag that Spaz made for me for my birthday, and we use this for almost a lot of our games, like for picture moments. Like for example, on my Instagram page, I actually have the that flag that was used on the what was it, the Milson 1861 event. That's what we used for our team name. Team, we used that flag.
Nice. So, if that was the original flag, what came about of changing it to what it is today?
I think it's because Spaz in Hungary, well, actually, Hungary wanted to do a different design. He wanted to create a new design, and then we started going, and then Spaz and everyone started going into these AI drawing stuff. Like they started putting in things, and then Hungary found a really cool AI generator where it made really cool designs. And with the flag that he has now, that's how we got our new flag.
Oh, nice, nice. Because I mean, that old original one behind you, I mean, that looks pretty sick. I like that.
Yes.
And and
Personally, I like this one more than the new one, but that's just my preference.
yeah, the new one's pretty cool too. It's just they both are, how should I say, they're good in its own way. So with their own theme, right? So this one is more of a whitish color, the other one's black. And with the theme of that color, it's just it makes sense for that design, right? And
Yep.
each one kind of exploits that, which is kind of cool.
Yep. And then when I come down during the summer to visit you guys for like a week or something like that, I'll definitely be bringing that thing down so we can take the flags right next to each other.
So yeah, to the old
Mm.
and the new. Yeah, that
Yep.
would be cool to see. I would love to see that. Nice. And you talked about your Instagram. Do you mind if I
Yeah,
share
so you
my
can go ahead.
screen and I can show your Instagram real
Yeah,
quick?
sure.
Let's see if I can bring it up here. All right, let me see. Let me know when you can see the screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
Sweet. So this is your Instagram right here. BlueDelta 117 underscore Airsoft. And let's go to the very beginning here, down here. So this must be like one of the older photos.
It's a newer one. That's just one I put down just real quick so I don't forget about it. That's actually the most recent airsoft game I went to. This is back in Virginia at an indoor airsoft field, and I met these two guys. The guy on the right is the guy I actually go to judo with, and the guy on the left side I just met there that day.
Nice. Little looks like, what is that in the green? Is that
Yeah,
like a cat?
yeah, I think it is, but there's a lot of funny graffiti art in there too.
That is funny. You pop around a corner, you see that thing, and you're like, what? So that's
Not something you expect.
yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's check out these other ones right here.
Yeah, that's one of the Milsom events, and then the middle is Spaz. I'm on the right with my LMG. That's the Crytek Trident LMG. And that box mag, the cool, crazy thing about that is I can jam 6,000 BBs into it if I get it all like compact.
Nice.
And then the guy on the left, he used to be part of our group until something happened between him and Hassan, and I'm not going to bring that up because Hassan knows that personally. So that's oh, I forgot his name already. It's been so long. But oh, Stryker, that's his name. His name's Stryker. He used to be part of our group. This is the Milsom event we went to also.
Yeah. All right. Well, sorry to hear about it. Sounds like a little bit of drama, but sorry to hear about that. Hopefully,
It's a little bit of drama here and there, but I think most of it we got it figured out.
okay, that's good. At least you guys got to figure it out. It's
Mm,
always sad to see, people break apart because of
yeah.
disagreements.
And that's the picture you got. You no, this is the other picture that we took or we had took, and if I can figure out correctly, on the very far left, Spaz is right is the second to the left, and then Striker is holding up the flag on the
Flag.
left, and then I forgot the other three. Sorry. But yeah, the other three, we originally had another guy, but he left due to something else during that Millsman event. But those three guys, they're very fun to hang out with. Even though we just met them that day, they're very fun to hang out with.
Ah, nice. And that's pretty cool, especially out in the woods there. Oh
Hmm.
man, I wish I could be part of that. That looks pretty intense.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. Oh yeah, there's Spaz, me.
That's Spaz right there.
Yep.
Here's Bluey
And, no, that's Striker, and that's me in the hat in the in like the fishing hat.
right here behind
Uh,
Spaz.
to the left.
Left.
I'm to the left.
To the
Yep, right
left of
there.
Striker.
Yep, that's me.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I
okay.
used to have a beard until ROTC made me shave it.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Sorry. Now, not
It's
it's
okay.
clicking now. It's clicking now. So this is you. That's
That's
uh
Striker.
that's Striker.
Hmm.
Okay, okay. Nice. It's a helicopter. Look at that.
Yep, this is Go Airheads, and this was on a day where my gas mask wasn't working because one of the things when you breathe in, the top covers come out so you can breathe in the through the filter.
Yeah.
And then when you breathe out, it stops so that way you can breathe out through the exhale filter thing. And it broke, so it fogged up, so I couldn't use that day. But it was other than that, it was completely fun. Me and that Hassan is right next to me. He's oh, so where I'm at, I'm the second person to the left, the all black guy.
Oh, this one right
And
here where my cursor's
yep,
at.
that's where I'm at. And that gun right there is actually one of the new guns I got. It's the I forgot what it's called, but it's an electric blowback. So it has like the kind of like it has some recoil in it, so you can feel it a little. But I traded that out later in my I think my third year of doing it. But Hassan is the second person to the right. Yep, right there. Yeah, that's Hassan, or Hungry as we call him. And
Hungry.
then yeah, his code name is Hungry. He came up with that word, so I'm not gonna make fun of him for it, but but and then the last guy, the guys on the very far outskirts, we just met those guys those days, so it was fun to hang out with them too. Very fun guys too.
Nice. That looks pretty intense. Well, helicopter, that looks pretty badass. Let's see. That's you right there.
No, that's Striker. I'm the
Ah,
very last one.
I got you two mixed up again. Don't worry, I'll get this straightened
It's
up.
okay. Yeah, I hate the fact that my helmet is lopsided, so it looks a little bit weird. If you look at the top where my goggles are in the helmet, it's like sitting off one side. I hate that. But that picture that was when I think that was the first time when CQ the prison field was open. We started taking photos and stuff, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because it looks
Spaz and
super
then the
clean.
front. Yeah, I think that was Spaz's one of the Spaz's new guns he took out that day. But yeah, me and him, Striker, we explored the prison field the first time, and it was much different than the prison field right now. It was much more open. Like when you enter the prison field, like the side of the actual prison, like the of the right side, the it was completely open. There's like no structures or anything. It was
No
completely open.
rooms,
Yep.
essentially. I can imagine that. You pop in there and there's like three other guys. That's so
Awesome.
cool. I just wish I was there to see
Yeah,
that.
it was fun. And actually, how they kept moving around the feel and putting new stuff in is because we put in our opinions and like our feedback, which they actually took upon themselves to actually do it, which is cool. And then this picture, if you're going in the line, the three in the line is the front is Spaz. The second person is Misha, or also known as Zephyr. And then the third person is Hungry. And then I'm the one sitting on against the wall on the other side.
Now I see, covering a different angle.
Yep. We were just taking pictures of us just of actually I think this is when Grinch was teaching us how to clear buildings.
Ah, nice.
I think this was the same no, this was a different day. I think this was the second or third week of prison being open. And then oh this group, oh this is amazing. That guy, that's one of
Is that
the
is that Marcus?
I think so, because he has the 1919 the machine gun. I forgot which it's the 303 caliber. I forgot the exact name of it. But that's I think that's Marcus. And then the person if you're going from the bottom up, if you the person right there, that is deleted. And then the person next to him is me, Blue, and then I that's Alex. One of the we haven't really fully recruited him because he's not there too much to like really talk to him to try to get him into the thing. And then the next person over is Misha, and then the next person over, I forgot his name, but he hung out with us a lot. And then the last person is Striker. And actually, this day, the day, if you go in the next picture, either the next one, oh no, in the next slide, sorry, I'll go to the same picture, and then you see that little arrow. Oh, it's not working. Oh no, it doesn't work. But the three of us, oh no, the four of us. There's four LMG gunners on our team, holding down prison. It
Nice.
was pretty fun. Yeah, we had an M60, an M240, and then a 19 forgot the name. It's 19 something. I know that for sure. And then my Crytek all holding the sides of the prison down. It was so much fun. And then
Since that
this is Rampart. Have you been to one of the Ramparts events?
no, I have not. I it's actually pretty short drive where I'm at, so I
Oh,
really
that's
need to go
nice.
there. I really need to go
Yeah,
there.
we did a Rampart event, and this was our group for our team. We were actually Team Blue, which is funny because my name's Blue,
Blue.
and for that scenario, we had to go to each different locations and collect like the cards or find the like for us, I forgot what exactly it was, but we needed to find an object, and then also we need to get like the kill cards, and then also the special objectives, and then we had to also kill the enemy and then search the enemy for the objectives that we need too. Because if we have their objective card, because we're given cards and we have to complete it, list them down, then we also that technically means we complete those objectives too. So we're trying to kill each other to search each other for those. It was really,
Nice.
really fun. But to go from person to person, if you're starting there, I think that is Stryker's brother. I forgot his name in the ghillie suit. That's Stryker's brother, and then the person next to him is me, and then the next person is Stryker, and then Spaz, then Hungry, and then last but not least is Deleted.
Nice. Man, yeah. Definitely need to experience that. It looks pretty cool.
It was really, really fun. Although the walk uphill was not fun.
Oh, that, yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah, this is the
Especially with the,
photos before I moved out of Colorado. The top is a Scar Mod 16, which is the one that has the 5.56 or the NATO 223 round M4 mag style adapter for it. And then I actually got that one in a trade with Spoons. He traded I forgot what we traded exactly, but oh no, we traded the the one trade my electric blowback, and I traded that for the Scar, and that's how I got that. And then the second one is my Trident LMG. That's when I have it in the like open fields with the silencer, so I get a little bit more range or something or stuff like that. And that thing is my go-to gun right there.
Nice. And that looks pretty sick. I like
Yeah,
this.
the I actually when I was the last few games I ever played at Fox before I moved, I held the trigger down, I think for a whole minute and 30 seconds without having to reload. And
One
it
minute,
was just
30 seconds.
loud.
I
Like
can
the
imagine.
people in the prison said they could hear me as clear as day, as if they were standing right next to the building. It was pretty fun, and the people could not push out because I just like held the trigger down nonstop.
Yeah, you're doing suppressive fire.
Yeah, and plus I have 6,000 rounds, so might as well.
That's funny.
And
Spaz.
yep, Spaz, and then that's his boss in the middle. I forgot his name. And then I am to the far right. That's my official full gear now. I have a Millennium gas mask. It's fully military capable. It has like the military grade um what is it, filters and all that. And it's a really good gas mask. Definitely can
Nice.
see out of everything. And then the cool thing is about it is I got the voice amplifier, so you can actually hear me when I speak. It's like a little speaker for
Nice. That's pretty
it.
sick. That is so cool. And this one right here with the
Yep,
same
that's the
cat.
yeah, that's the newest one. Yeah, the yeah, the camera guy was trying to take like weird shots. Like one, he tried taking sideways on the ground like this, pointing up. He had a little fun with that. But the indoor one was really fun. I actually got to be the juggernaut for that map for that game for game mode because I was the one with the so my LMG. The cool thing about the Crytek Trident LMG is that it has single and full auto. So it has the ability to go inside buildings. But the only issue with the single auto is that, or no, sorry, single fire is that it does not like to fire fast. You have to like let it cycle, or else you're gonna start breaking the gears, grinding them up.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that's why I don't like running single. But for this, it was just fun to have single for this game mode. It was really fun. It was it was a really small map. It's probably about the size of the Fox store like on top, and then underneath it was probably about like two or three Fox stores put together. It was a small map, but it was really fun.
Nice. Indoors too.
Yeah, it was indoors, so I had to drop my hop up a little really low in order to go under the limit there.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. I like this.
Oh, and actually, if you go down, there's a cool story that I could tell that about me, Spaz, Hungary. If you go to the one that's right next to the helicopter, the one that's like looks like we're in a disco thing. The funny thing is that right there, we did airsoft in an abandoned or a shut down sex dungeon, which is pretty funny
A
because
shutdown sex dungeon.
yeah, pretty much because they had like so when we first got there, we didn't know it. We thought it was an old office building by the looks of it. And then we started going exploring around. Like there's these like weird things. There's like beds. There's like a doctor's room, and there's like a office desk room, and then there's a kid's room. It was like, what is going on here? And we found, and apparently the guy who did all the like who sent out the invites and everything, who set up the whole thing, said it was a abandoned. I mean, not abandoned, but a sex dungeon that was shut down by that area, and they said, and we were allowed to use it for like I think about 2 weeks to do game modes there, which was absolutely fun. It definitely it definitely brought that CQB feeling really good. And it actually helped me out a lot so much that I can actually do CQB maps really good now because it taught me so much on clear rooms, everything. Like when you're trying to clear rooms as fast as you can so you can get to a better position, it really taught me how to do that.
Nice, nice. I mean, at least it gave you the opportunity to learn. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it gave
cool.
me. I think that's actually the most experience in CQB I've ever gained. Like, it was. I went there 2 times. It was so much fun, and it taught me so much. And I'm actually the one on the right, and Spaz is on the left.
Left. Yeah, because when I was playing back in 2003, 2004, we had a landlord own an entire what do you call them? Townhouses unit. So we had the whole complex was like four townhouses on a single platform. Hopefully I worded that right. But basically he owned the whole thing, and one of the units, the townhome units, was vacant. So he invited him and his friends, including myself, to play airsoft inside the house. Filled up the house with smoke, like from Halloween,
Yeah.
and we played airsoft in there. Now, keep in mind, this was back in 2003, 2004. So, we weren't really using how high powered airsoft
You
guns.
wouldn't like break the
So
walls or stuff like that.
no, I don't remember that even happening. And of course, this is so long ago, but I could have sworn I didn't remember seeing any damage. And of course, keep in mind what we had back then, it was nowhere near what you guys have today. So it was nowhere near as powerful.
Yeah.
So um but we played inside a town home filled with smoke with airsoft pistols and rifles. And that was like funny as hell because it's like we're inside a property that could go back to leasing, and here we are by the landlord playing airsoft inside a smoked dark townhouse.
Yep.
So so that was pretty fascinating. But I mean, but because clearing out rooms and stuff like that, I mean, I learned a little bit of that back then. But and of course, over the years, especially getting back to it in 2024, I had to relearn some of that again, right? So it's kind of fascinating having to remember what happened years ago and try to reincorporate or refresh up on it today, right?
Yeah.
So, but at least it gave the opportunity for that exposure. So even though the townhouse thing was kind of funny, it's not something you see every day, but it gave that exposure, right? Of the
Yeah, like
CQP feel of
like
clearing
this
rooms and
kind
all
of
that.
thing. Like having experience in a CQB environment like this, you don't get very often unless it's an actual dedicated field.
Field
Like
for it,
this
yeah.
was like almost like once in a lifetime thing that happened for me, which I am very grateful I was there. So this is actually where Hungary took out Brooke with us. We had Spaz with us, and then of course me and Hungary, and then I don't know if we brought anyone. Oh no, we brought Spoons with us as well, and it was just a great time. Definitely had a lot of fun with that. Especially one game mode where that this whole where we're at we took the picture at, we actually had to hold that room down from the people who were trying to get in, and even though it was chaos, it was like a fun chaos thing. Like BBs were just flying everywhere. You could not
Everywhere.
tell if you're getting hit or not because there's only one door to get in, and everyone's just like, just just keep shooting, just keep shooting. I'll
Just
hit
keep
someone
shooting.
sometime.
You eventually hit somebody.
Yeah, and it was like funny because I was so there's like this so there's the wall and then there's the door here and there's like a couch right here, like a big long couch, and I was actually propped behind the couch in between the couch and the wall so they couldn't see me. So every time someone got to the close to the doors, like on this side or this side of the door, I was able to shoot them and they didn't know where I was coming from, so I kept shooting them and it was pretty fun.
I can imagine, especially all those BBs flying around, like
Oh
how you
yeah, it was
described.
crazy. I
It's
don't know
just,
who was shooting who.
yeah, man, that would be pretty cool GoPro shot if one was set up properly.
Oh yeah,
So
if I had my GoPro, like I had a GoPro Hero 5 from my dad. He gave it to me after he was done working on fishing ships. He gave it to me, It worked for like 2 years, but after that, it just stopped working. Like after like 2 seconds of a video, it can't even take any more photos anymore. I wished it worked because it was such a cool experience to have that game mode. It's just like so chaotic. It was like you're just sitting there laughing because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. The intensity of it. Oh, geez. I can only imagine. That's pretty cool. So out of curiosity, how did you come up with the name Blue?
So the reason why I came up with blue is because one, it's one of my favorite colors, and two, all my gamer tag, all my emails, everything I use is BlueDelta 117. The 117 comes from Halo because I'm a big Halo fan. And that was like the very first video game I've ever played was Halo 3. And since then, I'm a big Halo fan, so I incorporated the 117 to Master Chief because I like Halo. And then Delta is my favorite aviation term for like the alphabet. Like D in the aviation alphabet is Delta.
Nice. Nice. That's pretty cool. I mean, me, it's kind of a short story how I came up with my name. It's not as a long, well, it depends how you look at it. Not as long history. It's N5 is kind of like if you watch Star Wars, R2D2. Um, so it's something similar to that. So there's a droid on forgive me if I'm not pronouncing the name correctly. Marolian. I'm so bad at the name.
Yeah,
It's
I haven't watched much Star Wars other than the Clone Wars, but it's been a while
yeah.
since I watched it.
It's Menorian, the hunter. It's I'm pronouncing the name wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sure the audience are gonna kill me for this, but
Yeah.
but anyway, it's the Hunter series of Star Wars. This hunter has a little baby Yoda that he's protecting, and I think it was on season 2 when he's in the Old Republic prison ship. He's trying to break out his comrades for, I guess, for a
I
contract
think
or whatnot.
I know what droid you're talking about. It's the one that has the like really tall head, right?
Not that one, but it's
Oh no.
close. Not that one. I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about the hunter droid, but no, that's not that one. It's this one's a guard droid, and it's guarding the Republic ship. And if you
Oh,
look up the name of it, it's actually called N5. And the reason why, at least in part, why I kind of like that is because that droid just kept on coming. No matter how many times you shoot at them, they just keep coming. And
yeah.
just the feel of that, it was kind of attractive with the concept, right? So it just kept approaching, kept moving forward, kept pushing. So um, thinking in that way, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. That's something I can use. And then the other element of it that kind of nailed it on the coffin was that my father's into ham radios, and
Hmm.
part of his call sign, at least part of it, starts off with N5. So I was like, well, okay, I can kind of use that as kind of in a way, kind of honoring him, but also in a way it's tied to Star Wars, which I like that droid. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just use that. So that's how my name came to be. And of course, I can't just use N5 by itself because it's not as defined. So I ended up using N5 Warrior. So that's it just kind of finished it. And that's how mine came to be. So not as long story as yours. It's just kind of short, but it's just something I just came up with with
But it's
with
still
what I
cool though.
had. Yeah. So it's not too bad. It's just maybe in the future, if I end up having my own squad or something, I'll have members called N1, N2, N3, N4, and something
That'd be
go in
funny.
that aspect. That would be funny as hell. So, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things fly out.
I think
But
you should definitely do that if you do a Milsim event. Make you squad leader, and then we just become N1, N2.
2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Yeah. Yeah, that would be kind of interesting. I don't know. I'll have to speak to Spaz or some of the others what they think about that idea. I don't know. It's just something random, but like you said, kind of cool to at least think about.
Yeah, that
And
would be cool.
yeah, for sure. I mean, out of curiosity, have you been watching my videos on my YouTube channel very much? I mean,
You
how
watched the
did you get a
Spaz?
hold? Oh, I'm
Hmm?
sorry.
I watched the Spaz episode. I think that's your second or third episode, was it?
Here, let me see if I can bring it up here. So this is my channel right here.
Yeah,
So,
episode two. Yep,
yeah,
episode two I've seen.
yeah. So that's with Spaz. And of course, this is probably not the best way to niche things, but I kind of broken off in two different directions. So in this case, I have a podcast aspect of it on my channel, but I also have gameplay as well. And these gameplays go over like, something funny like Half-Life in real life where where we had someone that was dressed up in Half-Life gear and I was kind of shadowing him the whole time and that ended up being a good video. And then we have one with Spaz. Actually,
You
we have
saw
two
the
with
one where
Spaz.
you rushed that one guy on the side and then he got hit.
Yeah, yeah. I do recall that. It's just kind of cool. I have far more than this. Matter of fact, I even have this right here, which I could show. I mean, it just shows like what happens at the field, right? So I'm not sure if you can hear it. Can you hear the audio?
Yeah, I can hear the audio.
Okay, awesome. Let me turn this down a little bit. So this is just shows what happens at the field typically. And and what you're going to see at the end of it happens. You don't think it happens, but it happens. But here, I'll just let you view it here in a second. You all
Oof.
right? You all right?
I definitely seen that happen too many times in that prison field. Some of them
And
they're
it,
funny. Like I think one guy, he tried going around the corner, but the thing is though, his front foot got stuck, and then his
oh,
front leg kept going, so he just hit his legs together, and then he just like collapsed.
oh, oof. I can, yeah, just imagining that. And it happens too, right? And it's not just that either. I mean, you're gonna find this funny. Let me show you this real quick. So now keep in mind, I didn't do this on purpose. All right, this was by accident. So just to elaborate what's going on here is that I'm underneath the stairs. At least I think that's the stairs. It looks like it is. Um, and how I'm angled up in a lowered position, right? And of
Yep,
course, because I'm angled up in a lowered position, naturally, when someone comes across that door, you're gonna
either be
potentially,
crotch area or lower.
yeah, it could get interesting. So
Yeah.
just watch.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
I didn't do it on purpose, but he had we talked afterwards and he thought it was pretty funny as hell. But but anyway, it's just one of those things that happens and you just try to make sure everyone's all right and everyone doesn't take
Yeah,
offense of
I
what happened.
definitely had a lot of situations since my LMG, it can't aim too high, so I can't aim above the waist. And a lot of times when people are going around corners, and so especially because I like hiding underneath the towers things inside the prison, because no one really expects it too quickly. So I sit there, and when they come around, I just fire. I'm just aiming for anywhere. And most of the time, I hit the groin area, and I feel really bad about it. So I go around. They just laugh it off because they didn't expect me to be there. But yeah,
Yeah.
it does feel bad, but it's kind of funny at the same time.
Yeah, it's just I mean, as long as everyone's having fun at the end of the day, no one's hurt. I mean, that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's what matters, right? So
Hmm.
so as you could tell, my channel's kind of split. I guess it's not really a good idea to do that because you want to be focused on a specific niche typically. But in my particular channel, it's have podcasts and game video footage and also shorts as well.
See, actually, I think that's a good thing how you're splitting up into certain categories. Like if some people want to stick to a certain category, like go airsoft full gameplays, podcast videos. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos on like or in like airsoft YouTubers that they do the same thing pretty much you're doing. They don't stick to just one thing. Like some of them will have like certain things like on specific topics. But yeah, I think what you're doing is really good.
Oh, excellent. I appreciate the feedback. Yeah. And it's growing. The channel's doing well, it's growing. I'll just say it
Yeah,
that
it's
way.
it's growing steadily.
Yeah. And there's some good shots in here, like for example, this one right here. So I did this myself, and I was trying to see if I can duplicate at least the Terminator feel ish,
Yeah.
right? So check this out.
Yeah, that specific scenario happens so much. Like you don't even know how many times that happens where you have that people in that certain spot.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And but it happens, um, and in that one in particular, I was like I said, I was trying to get it to sound like the Terminator for just to see if I can even do it, and it turned out okay, I guess.
Yeah, it turned out okay. Could have been worse.
Yeah, could have been worse. And I'm trying to see if there's any other interesting ones to show.
Oh, there's
But
the one where you removed the tip and then you almost got in trouble with.
oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so let me show the video first, and then I'll explain the story to the audience. It's just ridiculous how this happened. But anyway, let
Like
me.
to learn how to remove an orange tip? All you need to do is follow these steps. All you need is a hot air gun, some pliers, needle nose pliers, and a drill. Drill around the pin. After you're done drilling, it should look like this. Remove the pin. Next, use the heat gun to loosen the glue and the orange tip. Then, use the pliers to loosen the tip. Unscrew the tip, and that's it.
So nothing that impressive, but but I found out that one of my neighbors has been watching my content and saw that video and and immediately reacted to it like a Karen. So basically, complaining that, hey, I'm putting the society at risk. That's illegal. You shouldn't be doing that. Blah 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 blah. And at first I didn't think that was a big deal, but what caught my attention was I started receiving comments on that video saying, "Hey, that's an easy step to go to jail," right? And I received more than one comment on that from more than one person. So I was like thinking, what is this coming from, right? And I found out that one of the individuals that commented that is actually my neighbor, and also that's the person who's being a Karen, basically, and explaining that, hey, this is not something you should be doing. The cops should be called, yada yada yada. So I kind of ignored it, and then I guess like I think it was like a day or two later when I was working in my yard. I have a neighbor that is an off-duty cop, and he approached me, and then I asked him, "Hey, is everything okay? Am I in trouble or anything?" And he says, "No, dude, don't even worry about it. Matter of fact, I'm not even, I'm just off duty right now, and this is just off the books conversation, no, not an official conversation with you." But yeah, you had a complaint from a neighbor, and I spoke to that individual and trying to explain that, hey, what he's doing is not illegal. He's just showing how to remove an orange tip, and there's nothing wrong with that. And the Karen was trying to convince the off-duty cop apparently that, this is not right. That's, it's just against the safety of the society. And if he's not breaking the laws, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my representatives and I'm going to try to convince them to come up with a law to where you can't do that. So so he's like, you're more entitled to do that, but I mean, I'm just letting you know he's not breaking any law. So he wanted to let me know about that. And I was like,
Yeah,
well,
like
thanks for
there's
letting me
no
know.
laws against airsoft guns. I mean, well, there are, but not specifically towards the orange tip. There's
Um,
no. I have never heard a law against showing how to remove orange tips because
when
I tried looking up videos on how to remove orange tips because I don't like the orange tips, and so I looked that up too. It's like some of these things people need to know so that way they don't break their gun and break their airsoft gun.
Yeah, and then under my understanding, I mean, of course, I'm not an expert in laws, but under my understanding, where the orange chip is really utilized for is or required is mostly for shipping. Once you
Yeah.
receive it, then it's fair game. So that's my understanding. And if that's the case, then obviously I still didn't break the law because I was just removing an orange tip, and that's all I was doing. I mean, it's like what you're describing.
Yeah, I think
So
that they were thinking that it might have been a real gun or something, and that it is,
no, no.
but
The off-duty cop explained that it was an airsoft gun, and they still were basically being a Karen about it. So anyway, that's the funny story out of that. It's just I know it's ridiculous, but these things happen, and I understand the country's very polarized on things like this, and especially with guns. Guns is kind of on the how should I say one of the political fronts that a particular party likes to fight against, and so it's I mean it is what it is. You just try not to instigate it, right? If that makes sense. Just try to be peaceful about it and just say, hey, it, explain that you're not doing anything wrong, but if you would like to learn what I'm doing, just feel free to let me know. But what was so interesting about this particular situation is that the off-duty cop admitted to me that he subscribed to my channel because he loved what I was doing.
Well, that's good news.
So out of the whole ordeal, I got a subscriber out of it. So that was the tip of the cake, I guess that's one way of saying it. So that's kind of cool to see that. But it's hopefully someday there's not a law that states that you can't remove tips. That would be kind of
Yeah,
funny if
I heard there's a lot of changes that are going to be happening soon if some of these like laws on airsoft guns go into effect. Like I forgot which one it was called, but like the lot of like Fox, Go Airheads, they tried to do a thing where they tried to sign people up to like negate or like not to oppose the rules of the things that they're drafting up against like certain things on how they would have to sell the guns and like certain things on top of topics like that. I don't know the full thing about it, but it was like a big thing that popped up around the airsoft field, and then I don't know what happened after that, but it was something going on between the rules and regulations on airsoft guns.
yeah, and that's unfortunate. I mean, but this is the situation we live in, and we try to make the best of it, while we can. And of course, each state's different. So I know that personally because I used to live all over the United States. I used to live in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Florida twice. It's I've been all over, and the culture in each one of them is different. How they view things politically is also different. So it's at least one way of saying this on this topic is that if things get too bad in Colorado, there's always another state. So at least that's a blessing if moving's required. But but yeah, it's just situations like this that has happened, especially with the orange ship story I just told you about that's happened to me and hopefully well, I shouldn't say hopefully, but I'm sure it's not going to be my last story. I'm sure as I continue with this sport, I'm going to have a lot more entertaining stories to tell.
Yep. And about tips too, I when I removed the tip off of my LMG, one of the first things I put on it was a muzzle brake. But this muzzle brake is designed for breaching, and it has I think five or no six points on it where it's like extremely sharp. Like it can literally just pierce through fabric in like your gear easily if you
Oof.
stab it. And
Yeah.
um and I thought it would be funny to have it on because it's super sharp and also I like the design of it. So I put that on my LMG and some people are like, "Are you actually gonna use that?" I'm like, "We're not allowed to be near." I'm like super close to each other, so I just put it on for looks and plus I like the way it looks.
Yeah.
And also the cool thing about that thing is that it has no like besides of course attaching to the like the barrel itself, it doesn't have any more inner tube, so that way it doesn't interfere with the BB because if you have more tube, it has a lot more like friction like where it slows the BB down
Yeah.
kind of. but it doesn't have that, so I can put it on there and not have to extend my barrel on my inner tube to so that way it doesn't mess with it.
All right. Well, nice. And that's and that would be kind of cool to see. Do you have like a photo of that? Just out of
Yeah,
curiosity?
it's actually on my Instagram page. And one of
Um,
I don't know if you can clearly see it, but let me see if I can get a closer look at it. Oh, it's on. I don't know if you'll be able to see it clearly on my phone, but it's on my in one of the pictures. It's on my airsoft gun for the where is it? Sorry, just give me a second. No, it's here somewhere. Oh, here it is. It's like this.
put your phone a little bit up. Is it really okay? All right, move back a little bit, further back. Okay, 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 okay. I see it. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It has a cool design where it has air in it to let all, I mean, like these slits into it to let the gases out because if you just put a normal barrel into the door and try to breach it that way, it's gonna blow the gun up because of the gases. So it has those
Ah,
slits in it to lift all the gas out, and then it won't break your gun.
yeah. That's pretty sick. That's pretty
Hmm.
cool. Nice. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man. I mean, it's especially with some of the topics that you brought up. I mean, that's pretty sick. All the way down from the cat thing to like modifications you've done to the guns and also a little about your history. Very, very cool stuff.
Yeah, of
So yeah,
course.
it's honored to have you on here. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to invite you back for a
Yeah, of
future
course.
episode.
Definitely would like that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we can get into the deep dive on potentially some gear stuff if you're interested.
Yeah,
And
definitely. Next time, if we do this, I'll definitely have my gear so I can actually show you actually what they look
Extra
like.
stuff. Yeah, yeah, because you know what I wear because I'm wearing
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I wish I
So,
could wear, I wish I could have worn it, but it's just that stuff is back in Virginia right now because I didn't want to fly with that
oh
stuff
yeah,
all over
flying with
here
it.
because it would have been like
Yeah,
super expensive.
yeah, yeah. I can picture that. So, all right, well, no, not a problem. We'll figure something out. But
Yeah,
I
of course.
definitely enjoyed our conversation and thanks again for coming on. It was a great honor
Yeah, of course.
and
Thank you
uh
so much.
and we'll coordinate again and we'll get back on here. All right, sir. Well, you have a good evening and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, you too. Bye.